nation of Ravin, a region of dark pines and bogs, filled with madmen and plague rats, a place where psychics assault your mind with nightmares, and nothing is ever as it seems. Ravin, a human nation, is surrounded by tar swamps and oozen forests. The tree secretes a black, sticky sap that smells of rotting meat and sulfur. Even when dead, the tree rots in a bog of its own juices, secreting this tar for many months after, unless it is burnt to ash, which results in a foul-smelling smoke of decaying flesh. The people of Ravin must build with this wood, resulting in homes glistening with ooze with pools of sap both inside and outside the structure. The smell of a Ravin town is pungent and overwhelming, with those not born into the region often becoming nauseated and suffering headaches within a few minutes of entering. The sap gets everywhere and stains the skin, leaving brown splotches on most people of Ravin, as well as smearing over their clothing. They wear black wool tunics and hose to hide their stains, but little can be done about the smell. The stench is so bad it seeps into their pores, making it almost impossible to get clean. A citizen of Ravin is easy to spot. Just search for the smell. The odor of rot often attracts rat swarms. Most are nothing more than a nuisance, maybe even a source of food for the lower class, but some can be more dangerous. The ravenous are large-toothed rats who eat the wood and drink the sap. While harmless to people, they will devour towns in days if not dealt with. Plague swarms are often green, covered in boils. They carry diseases that can spread to people when bitten. The sufferers will begin to rot till their organs liquefy, leaving them in a pool of green slime. Others become disfigured, boils and warts covering their skin. Some become weak, their muscles locking, suffering dexterity and strength penalties, as well as movement speed. Then there are the ones whose symptoms cannot be seen physically. Their brains begin to melt. They suffer damage to their intelligence and wisdom scores, with wizards often losing memories to spells. This progresses till the victim becomes confused and mad, and finally death as their brain leaks through their ears. Then there are luminous green rat swarms. As a collective, they can cast spells or manifest psychic powers, with more powerful and numerous spells based on the size of the swarm. Finally, mutant rat swarms. They can be the size of dogs or larger, often with extra limbs, heads, and mouths. Some with wings, while others have barbed, stinging tails filled with venomous poison. The King of Ravin, Tharin, the Gutter King, created a force of dwarven pest controllers from the storm plains to combat the rat swarms, named the Guild of Extermination. They use traps, juggernauts, flame, and poison to kill millions of the pests, the rat piles rotting outside the castle courtyard as proof of their feats. Darrow Rockhorn, a dwarf and second knight of the order, had this to say of one of their many jobs. First day, we burned them, killed about 1,000. Second day, we burned them again, killed about 1,000 more. Third day, attached some iron rollers to a carriage and pulled it over the nest. Killed them all. What a sight. The forest floor a carpet of blood, bone, and rat fur. However, it would be a lie to say rats were Raven's biggest threat. In truth, there is a much more challenging problem. Madness. Deep below the earth, psychic energy irradiates the land and minds of the people of Ravin. The affected are driven insane, seeing illusions, hearing voices, and living through nightmares. While some inflicted at first ignore the effects, all eventually succumb and become violent, attacking people, eating flesh, destroying everything around them, while frothing at the mouth, their eyes bulging and bloodshot. Some have their minds so twisted they begin to manifest psychic powers, their effects going off at random as they no longer have the ability to control their mind, creating fires, explosion, or pulses of psychic power, ripping people apart. In extreme cases, these powers can manifest horrid creatures like swarms of biting eyes or mounds of bleeding tentacles, ravaging cities and countrysides. Other times, a madman can affect the sleeping and dreams of those around him, manifesting nightmares so vivid and real the victim dies of horror in their sleep. The creation of an order, the Clear Mind, has risen to combat this madness, proclaiming to be an order of doctors who are here to vet the populace and find those infected, and then cure them of their illness. But they are in fact a little more than a group of mad scientists. The asylums are cruel and dark places, where dozens of supposed insane are chained into cramped rooms or held in cells. The doctors perform all manner of experiments on the prisoners, from surgery to torture, all in the name of finding a cure. They will fillet a person to study their muscles and skeletal system, break a person's mind to examine one's mentality, conduct Frankenstein experiments of conjoining people to test the durability of a body. The doctors are often little more than sadists, forcing patients to fight each other or live in cruel conditions such as cells littered with broken glass, or serving them food laced with a light poison to keep one permanently sick. There is a purpose, however. The experiments are used to create mindless humanoids and reprogramming them to become an unthinking golem, which they call the brutes. The brutes are often gathered from the biggest humans and follow the doctors around wearing all black with executioner hoods and wield two-handed axes. They act as the order's muscle and lack willpower, no longer thinking for themselves, making perfect soldiers for the order. The Order's need for experiments and prisoners never end, and are not above imprisoning their political enemies, the innocent and members of the monarchy, to keep their rivals at bay and silent. They outlaw wizards, priests, druids, or any spell-casting class whose abilities can be blamed on psychic energy, and are often rounded up and never released, making almost every adventurer and potential hero and savior think twice before entering Ravin. Because of this, those who do have magic abilities or tame psychic powers often have to hide them in secret. They form secret covens and study the arcane, far removed from settlements. The Order is not ignorant to this fact, and with the aid of the local guard and lords will often conduct raids turning entire villages into a massive witch hunt. Those helping a madman, otherwise known as a wizard or psychic, will be executed on the spot by decapitation or burned at the stake. The Order will even burn down an entire village believed to be aiding a madman. This makes the Order more of an inquisition, questioning everyone, even nobles, and even the monarch is not safe from their prying eyes, making the king more of a puppet as the Order holds all the power. The Order has a faction barracks in every city and town in the form of an asylum made of stone, iron, and sticky wood, with a faction symbol of the three-eyed sun over the doorway. This ensures the Order reaches extends to every corner of the nation, and places the people of Ravin in the never-ending shadow of the mad and insane. This brings me to you, the Dungeon Master and player. Are you sane enough to turn away from these lands, to find safer passage and adventure? Or has madness gripped you just tight enough to enter the nightmarish realm of Ravin? But then again, we're all just a little bit mad, aren't we?